United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Katie, you want to hit us with a roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Blakely.
Here.
Chairman Bradley.
Here.
Commissioner Howley.
Here.
Commissioner Kine.
Here.
And Commissioner Mobley let us know that he would not be in attendance, and Vice Chair Sykes.
Here. And then we have the approval of our minutes from October 11th, 2022. Is there any additions, changes, questions?
Mr. Chair, I motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, we're going to open up the floor for oral comments from the public. Members of the public may be heard on any item of interest that are not on the agenda. Speakers addressing the commission will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Please be advised that by law, the commission is not able to deliberate or take actions on issues presented during oral comments. And Katie, you're going to put up on the screen for anybody that's calling in on the Zoom?
It should be on the
There it is.
graphics.
Do we need a motion to close if nobody's coming up?
We don't have anybody.
Okay, then I'll close it. So our next item of the agenda is item number 4 for business. Number 1, we have a lot line adjustment between 2 residential parcels on Ridgeview Court. The applicant is Fortuna Loop Incorporated, CO of Danco Group. The parcel numbers are 202-061-066 and 202-061-065. Project site is Ridgeview Court. Zone is residential single family rated R1 through 6, or 1-6, I should say. Liz, you want to enlighten us?
Yes. So it looks like I have lost my connection to Zoom, so I don't think the presentation will work. It says an unknown error has occurred.
Can you just review it with us, maybe through the notes and reflect to the?
I sure can. And you have these exhibits in your staff report, and which is also placed online, so the packet is available and has been available for.
Would you like this to use it to discuss?
Yeah.
Would it be helpful?
Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, Katie will put it on hers, but meanwhile, I will begin.
Okay.
So this is a lot line adjustment to adjust the common side boundary between the 2 parcels. And this is lot 58, lot 59. I think you read the assessor parcel numbers, 202, 061, 065, and 066. These lots are in the Riverview Terrace subdivision. The location is to the east of Vernonville Road and south of Loop Road. And these are the lots that, if you drive by, you see that up on the hill. The subdivision has been under development for a couple of years now. It's about 2/3 built out. So one of the parcels had been constructed with a single-family residence, and just prior, so it was basically completed, but prior to requesting a final inspection, they did identify that the house was 1.09, so about 1 foot too close to the property line. It was located within the required 5-foot setback. So they did approach the city and let us know about that and wanted to resolve it. So, the easiest way to do that, the parcel to the south is vacant, so it was a matter of relocating that property line, and they did find a way to just, it was tight, but they did get it to meet the setback for that property. It also had to maintain the minimum lot width of 60 feet. So if they adjusted it too far, then the adjoining lot would have been less than 60 feet. So they were able to do that, and that is in your packet. The site plan is on page 17, and that shows the frontage on Ridgeview Court and the 2 parcels, and you can see that the one on the north side is, you can see the building footprint, and then the parcel on the south is vacant. And then it's hard to see, but it is a 1-foot adjustment. It's a small distance to show on a map, but it is called out on that map as 1.09 feet. So this is the R16 zone. It's a, straightforward lot line adjustment. There aren't any, typically in a lot line adjustment, we would make sure that the new line isn't going to be blocking any access or utilities, and we found that both of those things, will still function perfectly fine. Both parcels have the width, for a driveway to serve the residences. Utilities won't be affected. There's main lines in the road, associated with the new subdivision, and then laterals, for the developed house and for any future new house. There's plenty of width, for the laterals. So neither of those things will be affected. Like all of our light line adjustments, this one has been reviewed by the city engineer, and he would look at those things as well, access and easements, and provision of city services, or all of the utility services. The city surveyor did review the lot line adjustment. He looks for those things as well as compliance with the lot line adjustment requirements of the Subdivision Map Act, and those things were met. He also does review the lot line adjustment notice that gets recorded, so that basically that the legal description is accurate. In this case, the legal description is just going to be referring to Lot 58 and Lot 59 of the Riverview Terrace subdivision. So you do have the findings for compliance with the zoning code in your packet. It's basically what I just described. And that's all I have, and I'll pass that back to the Planning Commission for questions. I do see that the applicant's surveyor is on Zoom, if you have any questions.
Anyone have any questions? And if not, then I'll open up the floor for comments from the public at this time. Seeing that nobody is coming forward through Zoom or otherwise, I entertain a motion to close public comment.
I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. The only other thing left is for a motion to approve or not approve.
Mr. Chair, I motion to adopt resolution number P-2022-3095, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Fortuna approving a lot line adjustment between 2 residential parcels on Ridgeview Court.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Blakely.
Yes.
Chairman Bradley.
Yes.
Commissioner Hallie.
Yes.
Commissioner Kine.
Yes.
And Vice Chair Sights.
Yes.
Okay, next on our agenda is consideration of an 18-month extension of an approval of approved parcel map to subdivide a 4.4 acre parcel into 4 parcels ranging in size from .46 acres to .76 acres and a remaining parcel of 2.32 acres. The applicant is Susan Campbell. The parcel number is 202-071-091 and 202-381-033. Project site is a vacant parcel between Berry Court and Redwood Way, and it's residential, single-family, R1 through 6. Did you have something to add to that, Liz?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman Bradley, Planning Commissioners. So this request for an extension is for the tentative map of the Campbell subdivision that was approved by the Planning Commission on January 26, 2021, with the conditions in Resolution P 2021-3056. Under the Subdivision Map Act, parcel maps are approved initially for 24 months, 2 years. So this one would expire on January 25th, 2023. And the MAP Act does require cities to consider extensions for 5 years. And then the MAP Act allows cities to determine, the increments for extensions. The Fortuna subdivision code is in Title 16, and it establishes expirations or reapprovals every 18 months with a 6-month for the last period to make up the 5 years. So upon submittal of a request, so the applicant, it's their job, their duty to submit a request before the expiration, in which they've done a couple of months before, so we like that. It gives us plenty of time to get it scheduled. So I'll just go over the map really quickly to kind of give you a refresher. The previous slide shows the location. It is located off of Redwood Way. It's to the north of Redwood Way. If you're driving up to the hospital, you'll see, the large field off the left. And it has northern access from Berry Court. And there are 2 AP numbers, but it's one parcel, I believe. And so the parcel is 4.4 acres, and the tentative map is, will create 4 parcels. So the zoning, I'll just jump to the zoning because it's in the order of our slides. The zoning is residential single family, R16, so it's got a 6,000 square foot minimum lot size. So any more than 4 parcels would bump it up into a major subdivision, and they wanted to keep it more open, more of an open feel. There's also wetlands on the site, which creates some constraints to development. They did work around the wetlands. They got the wetlands delineated and approved by the Army Corps of Engineers, and then a 25-foot setback approved. So the parcels, go ahead and you can advance it. So the parcel map, the shaded area shows the wetlands, and I'm sorry, I don't have it in overhead to use a pointer, but the parcels range in size from 0.46 acres, so almost a half an acre, to 0.76 acres, and a remainder parcel of 2.32 acres. And all of the parcels do have, even though several of them have the wetlands that they're working around, they all have an area, undisturbed by wetlands and with full access off of the new road to exceed the minimum lot size of the R16. So there's ample room. And they also did make sure that each of the parcels is, because they're larger, they didn't want to preclude future development by a future buyer. So each of the parcels is designed so that they would be easy to split in the future but that would go before the Planning Commission. it's just kind of a long-range planning thing to not preclude, not prevent subdivision. You know, we always like to see that, just thoughtful design. Anyway, so that's been approved. Those conditions of approval, if you have any questions on them or, you know, for a refresher, they are attached in your packet. So this agenda item is for the extension of the map. And the Subdivision Map Act, again, does dictate the terms of extensions. So there's that 2-year life, which I described. And the second issue has to do with conditions of approval. Conditions may be added if warranted, so there would need to be like findings, and typically that's when, you know, in other situations, I don't think there are any such conditions that need to be added or changed. Nothing, you know, there aren't any outside conditions that have changed, but that might be if a city adopts new zoning standards, or if something else, something environmental changes, a city might want to add conditions. If the applicant did not agree with adding a condition, then a planning commission would either approve it as it is or not approve the extension. So then the map would expire. So those are the options available. Staff recommends approving the extension. The reason for their extension request is that the applicant has been, their engineer has been, has prepared the improvement plans, you know, for the road and utilities and storm drainage and things like that. That's a long process. They were delayed, they have been delayed by PG&E, which is notoriously really slow. So that's why they're coming up to the 2 years. They did get the map signed by all of the parties, the city, fire department, the utility agencies, and they've submitted those to the city. So those will get signed. They're in the process of getting re-reviewed and signed by the city. And then they will be able to begin construction. So the applicant is here if you have any questions. And with that, I'll turn it back to the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Comments? If not, I'll open up any comments from the public at this time. And if you do address us, please give us state your name and your address for us.
Yeah, Bill Thorington, 501 Mile Lane, Fortuna, California. I'm the project manager. My wife Susan is the applicant. I'm sorry that we even had to come before you to get an extension. I don't like extensions myself, but COVID has basically shut PG&E down. Our first application spent almost 4 months in their offices, and then COVID hit and they lost it. They sent everybody home to work from home, and they couldn't find our application. So we started over again, and it's just been, I mean, chasing your tail and herding cats, you know. But we finally got the final map from PG&E. Everybody has signed off of it now. So we're in a position of updating our bids with our contractors, and weather permitting, we plan on starting construction as soon as conceivably possible. But we're headed right into the winter time, and I didn't think we were going to finish this by January. So the extension was just to buy us the time to finish it this spring. So I hope you approve, and if you have any questions.
Thank you for that report.
Thank you. Thanks.
I guess I'll take a motion to close comments from the public floor.
I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So I'll bring it back up here to us. I have a question before we do make a motion on this list. Do we need to, in the motion, specifically indicate that the 18-month extension will commence on January 25th, 2023, or is that just assumed?
Yeah, I think it's assumed, well, it's in the record. That's when the resolution, you know, we track it from the date of the resolution. So we know that there's an initial 2-year life. So the 18-month extension would naturally start from the day, you know, that date.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion if there's no other questions or comments from the
No.
astute members above here.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number P-2022-3096, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Fortuna approving an 18-month extension for the Campbell parcel map.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Blakely. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Chairman Bradley.
Yes.
Commissioner Halley.
Yes.
Commissioner Kine.
Yes.
And Vice Chair Sims.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Let's hope there's no more delays.
Yeah, no more delays.
Liz, do we have any staff communications?
No, I will, just one. I will report on the planning commissioners, committee workshop that was held last week. So there was continued discussion on parking, and, you know, I think it was a good discussion. It kind of went from, I think, the previous meeting where maybe it seemed like the direction was that there aren't any parking issues, but after discussion last week, it was decided to bring some back, for staff to do some research and bring background information on, what really are the parking needs for different types of uses, single family, multifamily, especially multifamily, and then how to consider substandard, like the older parts of town where the roads are substandard. So we're going to look at demographics of, multifamily units, there's kind of discussion about the design review that you guys approved for the 70-unit multifamily unit off of Smith Lane. They're going to advertise those for seniors. How is that parking demand different from a regular multifamily development? So we're going to look at that, and then we're going to take a closer look at the city's, not just the zoning standards, but also general plan policies on parking, infill development, and things like that would affect, the city's direction as it's reflected in the general plan. We're going to look at parking survey of similar sized cities, so cities that, are similar in nature to Fortuna as far as size and, being rural, not part of a giant suburban, outlying area of a big metropolis. And how does that, how would the city compare? What do those cities do to resolve or address parking issues? And then look at having a sunset clause, just in general. What are the possibilities to consider a sunset clause for existing repair shops that, are maybe grandfathered in with regards to having parking even in their customer areas and not in any designated areas. And I think that was pretty much it. I mean, that's just abbreviated. But yeah, so we'll be bringing that to you. Then we think we did decide to have to skip a meeting and then have that would be the second meeting on November the 15th, but I'm going to be out of town visiting my daughter in Boston. She's working in Boston, so
Yay.
looking forward to that. But that would be the next meeting. The next available meeting would be December 6th. So if that's agreeable to everybody.
Perfect.
Okay.
Works for me.
Okay.
And just so I can add to that with our meetings, would we decide on, I know Katie and I talked about this earlier today, would we decide on November 8th? It's election day. I don't know that we have much on the agenda, if anything, right?
Right. And this room typically gets used.
Yeah.
I would like to say I'd be absent because I'll be working the polls.
Yeah, so
County worker.
I have a suspicion that we may not have a quorum, let alone the use of the room.
I think we should be okay. We have, actually, it's the Orchard Apartments are coming forward on, for their conditional use permit, but we'll Just because of PG&E and, you know, the uncertainty of PG&E providing electrical ability, so we're trying to get projects, you know, we're trying to help them and doing everything that we can to facilitate getting those scheduled and approved, because PG&E is being more accommodating to projects that have been in development and either have an application. I'm not sure if they don't have an application yet, you know, I don't know what PG&E's cutoff is, but they're being pretty uncertain and not really forthcoming with that kind of information, so we're just trying to help everybody through. So let me check with if this room is being used. I think last year, the last election, I normally vote here, and we went to the Veterans Building, so I'm not sure if they're going to be using this building like they used to. So
Well,
it might
I'm not going to be able to make that meeting on the 8th, and if you're not, we only have 4 candidates, so we might want to do an attendance tally
Okay,
to
yeah.
determine if we have a quorum.
Okay.
I will
thank
be
you.
there if there's one. I'm fine.
Okay.
I can make it too.
And
I
then
can make it too,
I should be able to.
So it comes down to
Okay.
Chris.
to Chris.
All right, so we'll check before we go.
Yeah, just to
publish
save a
an
lot of
agenda.
footwork.
Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate all you guys do.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
You do a great job. I'll take entertainment for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys. You did a great job.